Hello everybody, John Greenwood here. I just released a 3-hour video essay that took me 4 months to write, and you know what that means. It's time for more slop. Today we're going to be looking at a tier list that I found online about nicknames in A Song of Ice and Fire. We're going to be ranking the nicknames. We're going to do something a bit more casual and fun. So this is obviously going to be the most controversial video I ever made. So let's get right into it. The late Lord Frey. All right. Now, I like the wordplay on this one, but I feel like, you know, in a title that's meant to be insulting to the late Lord Frey, who's late to everything, and he's also really old, he's about to die, I think the late Lord Frey doesn't really sting as much, and so it's kind of a missed opportunity. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not great. I'm going to put it in C tier for now. Kind of a little bit of a lame nickname there. Okay, so the next nickname is the Blackfish for the commander who is largely responsible for the victory at the Whispering Woods. The Blackfish, I think it's a clever nickname. It's kind of going towards the black sheep sort of dynamic, except he's the Blackfish, and then he just kind of owns the nickname, and he turns it into this menacing title. Has a little bit of gravitas to it. I think it's a great nickname. A tier. Like it. Good job. Garland the Gallant. This is about Garland Tyrell. Garland the Gallant. He's always gallanting about, I guess. He's a great swordsman. Seems to be okay at jousting, and seems to not really need the spotlight that much. I mean, I like the alliteration, and it describes what he does. So maybe this is a B tier, somewhere in the middle. I mean, it's not an amazing nickname, but it definitely gets to the point of identifying him, and it's kind of rememberable. Okay, Renly's Ghost. Now, I think this one is much better than Garland the Gallant. If this refers to Garland Tyrell, I'm not sure if it does. So that could be a bit of a problem with the nickname, is I don't know who it refers to. And, you know, any nickname needs to be really identifiable. I don't think it's common knowledge that Garland was the ghost of Renly at the Battle of the Blackwater. So I think this one, actually, to be fair, even though it is kind of a powerful nickname, from what I recall, few people actually are aware that Garland was Renly's ghost, and so, I mean, this could be anybody, so it kind of fails. Okay, Kinslayer is a really bad nickname. I have no idea who the Kinslayer refers to. Is that Theon? I don't know. There's so many people that the Kinslayer could be. This is a really poor nickname. I don't like this nickname. It's very unclear who this is. I've read these books front to back. I don't know how many times in recent memory. I keep reading them almost at least once a month at this point in my channel, because I have to keep reading them front to back for clues about Varys and Illyrio and stuff like that. And I genuinely have no idea who the Kinslayer refers to. I think it might be Theon, but for that reason, I'm going to put it in F tier because it doesn't identify who it is. Leech Lord. This, I think, refers to Roose Bolton. If I had to guess, he's the sort of leech guy, and it kind of says something about him as a whole. He's kind of a bit of a leech, right? He leeches off of other people. He's got no substance of his own. He's kind of a bit of a parasite, almost. And I think this kind of gets to who he is as a character. So I think in terms of like how well George did with this nickname, I think he did pretty good. Is this a nickname that I think has staying power, like, in the world? Yeah, it's not the best nickname, but it's still pretty good. I think I'm going to put it in B tier above Garland the Gallant if I can. Yeah, towards the top of B tier. Maybe it would be low A tier. I don't know. It doesn't have any gravitas, so this is the kind of nickname that you would use behind somebody's back, right? You'd be calling Roose like a parasite or something, but seems kind of tame for something that you'd say behind his back. All right, so the next one is also on the Boltons. This is Ramsay Bolton, the bastard of Bolton, and he basically embodies every negative stereotype about base-born children. I think this is a really good nickname. It has staying power for sure. It definitely identifies who we're talking about, and I could see myself using that nickname. Great John. This one's kind of tame. I think this is a C tier. It just refers to how the Great John is like a very big guy, and that's kind of it. He's tall. Like, I don't know, not a great nickname. Doesn't do much for the characterization of the Great John. Okay, so the next one is Crow's Eye. I think this refers to Euron Greyjoy, and Crow's Eye is kind of vague. Doesn't really tell you a whole lot about this character. I mean, this nickname does a lot of heavy lifting for sort of the inference that a lot of people make that, you know, he was one of Bloodraven's students, right? He's a eye of one of the crows. Right, he's an eye for the crow's eye. But apart from this, I don't think the eye of a crow really does a whole lot of characterization that's accurate for Euron Greyjoy. He's a very underhanded character, believes in basically nothing. I don't think Crow's Eye is actually a very good nickname. Controversially, I'm going to put it in F tier. I don't like Crow's Eye. I don't think it's a very imposing nickname either. So yeah, I don't like this nickname. So the Giant Slayer is Godry Faring because he kills a giant at the Battle of the Wall. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what you would call him in the moment, but it's just like I really don't know who this refers to, and not a lot of people would know that he is a giant slayer. It is imposing though, but just because it feels so obscure to me, I mean, like I did a whole video on what was going on at the wall in the Pink Letter, and Godry Faring didn't really come up, and I kind of forgot about him, so it seems like a very forgettable nickname, and so for that reason, I think it's C or B tier. I don't think it's an F tier. I'm going to put it in high C tier, personally. The Dark Lord. Who is this? Sauron? The Dark Lord is not really too much of a canon nickname. Apparently, a lot of people use this to describe Euron, which I think would be a better nickname than Crow's Eye. Apparently, the nickname of the Great Other, as in like the god of the others, the opposing god to R'hllor, that god's nickname is the Lord of Darkness, but it's not the Dark Lord. So I don't know where this comes from. I'm going to put it in F tier just for the laziness of copying Sauron. Dark Lord to me seems like Sauron. I don't know why you would call yourself the Dark Lord. It's not a great nickname for me. It doesn't really hit for me, so I'm putting it in F tier. Bastard of Night Song. Who? The Bastard of Night Song refers to Roland Storm. This is really obscure because it requires you to know somebody else's nickname, and because you're basing your nickname off of somebody else's nickname, I'm going to say that this is, as the kids would say nowadays, El Aura. Basing your nickname off of somebody else's nickname, to me, instantly puts you in F tier. I mean, what are you doing here? Come on, man. You've completely missed the memo. All right. The Knight. Who are we talking about here? This is F tier. The Knight? Are you kidding me? How many people could that be? Like, I don't like that one. Prince Frog. I mean, it's an insulting nickname that they give behind his back. I think they might just call him Frog behind his back. So I'll count it as Frog. I'll just pretend that it says Frog. I think Frog is a good nickname for Quentin. I don't think it's very high tier. It's not the best nickname, but it's not the worst either. I think it's B tier. Bastard of God's Grace. Again, with all these bastard nicknames, I gotta keep track of all these bastards. Who is this? This is Damon Sand from Dorne, and personally, I don't like this nickname. It's kind of the Bastard of Night Song sort of stuff. It's way too literal. There's no intelligence about it, and it doesn't really describe his character either. So, to me, this isn't really even a nickname. It's just describing what he is without saying his name. And so I don't think this is a good nickname. I think the Knight is at the very bottom. Because, like, honestly, how are you supposed to figure out who they're referring to? Like, the Knight is leading a great host against us. Who? Darkstar. This is a great nickname. This refers to Gerald Dane, the Darkstar. I mean, this is a great nickname because his heart is kind of dark, but also, he has the blonde hair, white blonde hair, silvery hair, I guess, of the Danes, and also he is a Dane with a star, and normally you would expect them to be like noble, but he's very dark. It's a very imposing nickname. It's got a lot of gravitas. I could see you using it in front of him and he would like have no problem with it. I think Darkstar is an S tier nickname. Great nickname. Golden Hand. I think this refers to Jaime Lannister, but it could also refer to Tywin Lannister. Honestly, it could refer to a lot of people. I think this refers to Jaime. Compared to the Kingslayer, I think Golden Hand really does not do a whole lot. For Jaime, it's just sort of a nickname that you replace Kingslayer with to sort of whitewash your PR. I don't think this is a great nickname. It's not the worst, but I mean, yeah, kind of C tier. This is Daenerys Stormborn Targaryen. What does Stormborn do for her? I mean, it is kind of a cool nickname. It's like, yes, I was born in a storm and I survived even that. I'm very hardy. The storm comes with me. I arrived with the storm. So, it's a good nickname. It's a good nickname. You could use it in front of her. She wouldn't even bat an eyelash. And I think other people could use it. I'm not sure whether other people would use it. I think they would probably just say the Dragon Queen or something like that. Stormborn could refer to like a Baratheon or something, right? So Stormborn isn't the greatest nickname. I think I'm going to put it in B tier. Sweet Robin, I think, is an excellent nickname because it pretty much describes Sweet Robin to a T. I basically use it instead of his real name, so that just shows you how good of a nickname this is. I think Sweet Robin is A tier. Yeah, we'll put it in A tier. The Imp. I mean, this is a good nickname to call him behind his back, Tyrion. It is kind of iconic. Imp nowadays wouldn't really have the kind of bite that this would have in a medieval setting, right? You're basically calling this guy a demon in like a bad way, not like demon nowadays might have positive connotations depending on the context, but the imp is like underhanded and like cruel and conniving. So I think the imp goes somewhere in B tier. It's a good nickname. The Unburnt. This was another nickname for Daenerys the Unburnt. And I think that it's just not as good as the other nicknames. I don't think that he would really use this that much. And George kind of abandons it because he finds better nicknames for her. So I think the Unburnt is not that great. Down in C tier. Breaker of Chains, on the other hand, is sort of an okay nickname. I think this is more of like a title that you add on Daenerys Stormborn, Mother of Dragons, Breaker of Chains, right? It's a title that you sort of add, not really much of a nickname. I don't think people really would call Daenerys Breaker of Chains as like a nickname. They would just do like Mother of Dragons or the Dragon Queen. I think this is low C tier. I don't even think this is really much of a nickname at all. Mother of Dragons, kind of same thing. Better than Breaker of Chains though. Definitely a good title, but I'm gonna put it near the bottom because I just don't think it's really a nickname. Aegon the Conqueror, this is a nickname, and I think it's a good nickname. It's like one of those William the Conqueror nicknames. I think it's a good nickname, and you can only use it for a certain number of people, and I think if you were going to use it on anybody, it would definitely be this guy. He is definitely a conqueror. So I mean, yeah, I think this is an S tier nickname, the Conqueror. Barristan the Bold. I mean, this is the kind of nickname that you would want to have in this kind of world, and it is a nickname that sort of refers to him very specifically, but it includes his name in the nickname, so it's not really a nickname. You're just kind of adding the bold onto it. Like, if it was a nickname, it would just say the bold. The Bold Knights or something would be a nickname. This isn't a nickname, so I'm going to put it in F tier. It's just straight up his name as part of the nickname. So I don't think that this is a great nickname. All right, Sword of the Morning. This is an okay nickname. Personally, I just don't like it. I don't know why, but something about this kind of bothers me. I think because I feel that Arthur Dayne is like actually not that great of a person. I don't know. It just, I don't like this nickname. Something bothers me about it. I'm gonna put it very low in C tier. It's not as bad as the other ones, but I just don't like it. One True King is like the worst nickname you can have. This one sucks. One True King is so non-descriptive because everybody thinks that they're the one true king, and this is a truism across most of history. Everybody is like, oh yes, I'm the one true king. And then also, like, the fact that you need to have this as a nickname kind of does a lot against you. So I think that this is like a really, really bad nickname. You wouldn't want to have this nickname. Demon of the Trident. This refers to Robert Baratheon. This is an S tier nickname. Huge aura coming from Demon of the Trident. I mean, what a nickname. What an image. He's just tearing them apart. He's prime Robert. Yeah, I think I would call him Demon of the Trident. That's a great nickname. Kingslayer. I mean, what else do we need to say? We know immediately who this is. It has massive aura. It's got a little bit of gravitas. It's both a compliment and an insult in one, right? You killed the tyrannical king, but also you killed a king and you broke all your oaths and you kind of lack virtue. You could say it with respect, Kingslayer, and you like nod. You do like the man nod to him, or you say like Kingslayer, and you have like contempt in your voice. You know, it's just such a versatile nickname, and everybody knows who you're talking about. I think this is a great nickname. S tier. The Spider. I mean, I love this nickname for Varys. It does a lot to characterize what kind of person he is. He's very smart. He's, you know, kind of in the background a little bit, and he's a little mischievous. He's a little, you know, dark, right? And it's a little bit of an unsettling image, at least in sort of the Western tradition. Spider is a great nickname. Is it better than these ones? Probably not, but I do like the Spider. It's an A tier for me. The Hangwoman refers to Lady Stoneheart, and I don't think that this is a great nickname for her because it's not really specific enough. It doesn't really give you a lot of context. You would have to use another nickname along with it and kind of clarify who the hangwoman is. Is it a woman who was hung by the noose, or is it a woman who hangs people by the noose? Or is it both? I mean, this is just too obscure to be a nickname, and for that reason, I think it's at F tier. It's kind of like Renly's ghost thing. Like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cool nickname, but it requires a lot of obscure knowledge, and so for that reason, I think it's a poor nickname. Little Rose, I think, refers to Marjorie Tyrell, but this one is a little bit off because Little Rose could mean a lot of different Tyrells, right? And it could mean a number of different people. Little Rose is just too vague. For this reason, I think it goes in F tier. And it's just not really a great nickname either. I don't think I would ever call Marjorie Little Rose. It just doesn't really seem to fit her at all. So I'm going to put this in F tier. Okay, the Queen of Thorns. This refers to Elena Tyrell, and I think it's a great nickname. It's got huge aura. You're not really supposed to say it in front of her, but I think if you did say it in front of her, she would respect you more for just being so blunt with her. I think Queen of Thorns does a lot of characterization for her. We know immediately what kind of a woman she is, and I think it accurately describes her, right? And it's a play on words as well, because she's a rose, and a rose has thorns, and she's the queen of those thorns. So I think this is an S tier nickname. Queen of Thorns, very evocative, very descriptive. The Last Dragon, is this the Last Dragon or the Lost Dragon? I don't even know, but the Last Dragon is just too vague. I don't know who you're talking about when you say the Last Dragon. Like, nothing immediately comes to mind. Is this Viserys the Last Dragon? Is this Daenerys the Last Dragon? Is this Aegon the Last Dragon? Is this... I don't know. Who is the Last Dragon? Not a great nickname. I'm going to put it in F tier. Kingmaker. This could refer to so many things. I think it's Kristen Cole. Kingmaker is a nickname that you would use within a small circle of people. I don't think the whole kingdom would call you Kingmaker, and it's not something that would be used often. I think that this is a F tier nickname. It's just so vague, and it's so trite that it just doesn't do anything for me. Okay, the Bloody Hand. Genuinely no idea who this refers to. The Bloody Hand is a play that I think Arya sees in A Song of Ice and Fire. Apart from that, I have no idea who this is. I don't even think that this is a nickname. So I'm going to put this in F tier below Paris in the Bolt because I really dislike this one. Knight of Flowers. This is Loras Tyrell. Although it could be used for anybody, it's only used for Loras, and he definitely leans into it by like bringing flowers to the joust and stuff. It doesn't give the sort of like typical Western thought of like strength nowadays, but in terms of medieval times, being the Knight of Flowers would be a pretty good nickname to have. And within the setting, it seems to be not too bad of a nickname to have. It sort of implies chivalric virtue in the sort of traditional sense, rather than chivalric virtue in the militaristic sense. So I think this is a low A tier nickname. I like it. It's not the best of nicknames, but it's a pretty good one. The Lightning Lord, I think, refers to Beric Dondarrion for his sigil with all the lightning on it. The Lightning Lord. How do I feel about this? I mean, it kind of shows how Beric is like, you know, coming in and out of the woods. He's doing this like guerrilla warfare stuff, and he just strikes like lightning, and he sort of gets out of there. So in that sense, I think it's kind of a fitting nickname, but aside from that, it's not really fitting for Beric. It is a good nickname to have. I think I'm gonna put it in high B tier. Littlefinger. I mean, this is so iconic that we all refer to Littlefinger as Littlefinger rather than Peter Baelish. I think this is probably one of the best nicknames that George came up with. Littlefinger is so iconic. You would not want to have this nickname, but I think that's what makes it such a good nickname, is that it's like more realistic in that like people are talking stuff behind your back, talking badly behind you, and calling you names behind your back, and you kind of just have to begrudgingly accept this title of Littlefinger. So I think like within the universe, this is like one of the best nicknames in the whole series. I think people probably would have expected me to put the spider up here, but Littlefinger I think is just so iconic. I mean, we all refer to him as Littlefinger, so great one. The half man I think is a little worse than the imp. It's kind of with the imp, sort of interchangeable. Giant of Lannister, this is Shay's nickname for Tyrion, although she seems to use it, at least appears to use it, on Tywin Lannister as well. When she dies in A Storm of Swords. Giant of Lannister, I think, is a great nickname, not because it's like got aura or anything like that, or because it's unique. I think it's a little trite, but I think the reason why I like this so much and why I'm going to put it in the S tier is because of like the character moments that it produces for Tyrion, and like how effectively this works on Tyrion, and what that kind of says about Tyrion as a person, that he would like sort of fall for this trite compliment towards him, that he's so hopelessly romantic that he just will accept this obviously, you know, trying to stroke his ego nickname because he's just so desperate for affection. I think that's just so tragic, and so there's just like a lot riding for me personally on like the narrative value and like the character value of Giant of Lannister in terms of like where it actually would be like down here in F tier, but Giant of Lannister I think is S tier just because of what it does for the story. I love this nickname. Lady Stoneheart, I believe refers to Catelyn Stark / Tully. After she comes back to life, she has a heart of stone, and this is how we all refer to her when we're talking about her. We don't call her Catelyn anymore. We sort of distinguish these as two different people. This is Lady Stoneheart now. So I think the fact that we all use this sort of shows the power of this nickname. So I'm going to put it in A tier above the Blackfish. This is a very strong nickname. Lady Stoneheart, great stuff. Immediately sort of identifies her. Yeah, you kind of need a bit of lore on who she is, but like out of all the nicknames, you know, the Hangwoman versus Lady Stoneheart, I think Lady Stoneheart more specifically identifies who we're talking about. The Lord of Corpses, we technically don't even know who the Lord of Corpses is. It could be Beric Dondarrion. It could also be Bloodraven. We really don't have any clue who a Lord of Corpses is. It does have a little bit of menace to it, but because it's so vague and we have no idea who this guy is, who this Lord of Corpses is, I have to put it in F tier. The Dragon Knight refers to Prince Aemon Targaryen once he became a Kingsguard under, I think it was Aegon III. And he's sort of held up as the platonic ideal of a Kingsguard. He is the noblest knight who ever lived, blah, blah, blah. Calling him the Dragon Knight in the context of A Song of Ice and Fire is basically saying, like, this is goody two-shoes. And so far, I think, like, in universe, this makes it a really good nickname. Although there are a ton of people who could be called the Dragon Knight, it's kind of like the nickname the Conqueror, in that there can only be one sort of conqueror, right? Like, if you were to name a guy the Conqueror, it would be Aegon. And if you were to name a guy Goody Two Shoes, it'd probably be Aemon Targaryen. So I think it's a good nickname. It's not the best nickname for me. I'm going to put it in A tier. Bloodraven, I think for similar reasons of Lady Stoneheart, this is a really good nickname. We all call him Bloodraven. We just immediately know who we're talking about. And it has a bit of menace and gravitas behind it. It's got aura. I think it's a good nickname. I'm going to put it somewhere in A tier. Which one do I like more, though? Do I like Lady Stoneheart, Bloodraven, or the Blackfish? I don't know. I'm just going to keep it there. Mother Merciless is another nickname for the Lady Stoneheart version of Catelyn Tully. I think for the same reasons as Hangwoman, it kind of needs to go down here. I do think it's better than the Hangwoman. Mother Merciless, it's got that alliteration, and it sort of describes what she is a little more, so you could kind of figure out who this refers to by looking at it. But again, it's just, it doesn't really do much in terms of describing her, so I'm going to put this in F tier. All right, the Cruel. I think that this refers to Maegor the Cruel. And again, if you were going to call anybody the Cruel, it would be Maegor. This is kind of one of those classic titles alongside the Conqueror. So in fairness to Aegon the Conqueror, I think I have to put it in S tier. Although I think I'm going to move these guys to the back just because they're kind of trite. I think you could have gone with something like, you know, some sort of alliteration here. Maegor the Cruel seems like a missed opportunity. You could have like Maegor the Malcontent, or Maegor the Maleficent, or Maegor the Malicious, or I don't know. There's a lot of Mal titles. Maybe George was trying to avoid Latinate terms. The Boy King could refer to a lot of people. You could say that this is Joffrey. That's where my mind first goes. You could also say it's Tommen. I mean, that's valid too. You could also say that it's Robb Stark, because, I mean, a lot of people call him Boy. I think within the universe, this specifically refers to Tommen, but this is just a bad nickname. I mean, either once they're dead or once they grow up, like, Boy King is immediately discarded. I don't like this. It's unclear, and it's going to change, and it, like, could be anybody, and it's kind of trite as well. The Ill-Born. I don't even know who this is. I'm gonna have to look this up. 1 second. Think this is a nickname for Joffrey Baratheon, Joffrey the Ill-Born. I'm sure that this is mentioned somewhere in the books, but like, I don't remember it being said, so I must have just like mentally blanked on when this happened in the novels. Yeah, the Ill-Born isn't a great nickname. I'm going to put this in F tier. The Onion Knight. I think that this is a good nickname, but it's a missed opportunity. I think instead of people calling him the Onion Knight, I think they would just call him the Onion. I think you would just call him the Onion, and you immediately know who you're talking about. And then I think, like, if you had the Onion as a nickname, it would have more staying power, because you know, the Onion is still the Onion no matter what rank he is. He's the Onion Knight, now he's the Onion Lord, now he's the Onion King. I don't know, maybe Davos becomes king. New video idea? No, I'm just kidding. I think it just falls back into like A tier or something, or maybe B tier. Like the Knight really sinks the weight of this nickname. I'm really upset because the Onion would have been a really good nickname. The Laughing Storm, I think, refers to one of the Baratheon lords. Lionel Baratheon, I think it is. Yeah, it's Lionel Baratheon. Yeah, I think this is a good nickname. B tier. Jorah the Andal. Not a really good nickname for Jorah. This is just because, like, in the Dothraki camp, Khalasar, you know, there aren't really any Andals walking around. So Jorah who? Jorah the Andal. Jorah the white guy walking around, right? White Jorah. It's basically what this nickname is. So it's kind of funny. I'm gonna put it somewhere in B tier because it's kind of trite, but it is realistic, and it would specify, at least in the Dothraki context, like, yeah, that would immediately identify who you're talking about. Maid of Tarth is, I think, kind of meant as an insult for Bran of Tarth, but it's kind of weird because, like, in medieval times, being a maid would be seen as virtuous and noble. So Maid of Tarth also is sort of referring to the fact that, like, Brienne can't find a husband or won't find a husband, sort of implying that she has difficulty with it, which is meant to be derogatory towards her. I just don't think this nickname, like, if you're going to have a nickname that's insulting, really has the level of sting that you want it to have. I'm going to put it in C tier. I don't think this is great. Prince That Was Promised. I think this is trite. It's too vague, and I don't like it. I'm putting this in F tier. I don't really care. I just don't like it personally. So, and this is my tier list. I don't really need to have a reason. I just don't like it. Okay. It's like the part of the side dish that they brought with my steak, and they brought me something weird, and I just don't like it. I'm like a picky eater. It's like, I don't like it. The Rogue Prince. Is this supposed to refer to Daemon? I don't know. And that's why I think this is a vague and not great title. Doesn't do a whole lot of characterization for him, because I think he's a bit more nuanced than being a rogue. I'm going to put this in low C tier, because at least you know who is being talked about. So there we go. Bitter Steel. I think this is an S tier. S tier title. We immediately know who we're talking about. Where is it though? I think it's right before Giant of Lannister. I mean, I just call him Bitter Steel. I don't even remember what his name is. Aegor Rivers or Aegon Rivers? I don't even know. I just call him Bitter Steel because it's just such a good name. That's how good this name is, and it really does a lot for his characterization as well. Bitter Steel is great. The Old Bear refers to Lord Commander Mormont at the Night's Watch. I think that this is a pretty bang-on nickname for both his characterization and immediately identifying him. You're referring to the elder patriarch of the Mormont family, whose sigil is a bear. I think it's a good nickname. I'm going to put this in B tier. The Red Viper, I think, is a great nickname. Oberyn Martell. Highly usable, highly quotable. Oberyn likes it. His enemies like it. It's got dual aspects to it. It's got a lot of wordplay. Yeah, I like the Red Viper. Good nickname. Fun nickname. The Usurper. I think this is Dany's nickname for Robert. Or Viserys' nickname for Robert. This is a terrible nickname. There's a lot of usurpers, and like it doesn't, like, nobody really cares in universe. Like, nobody cares that Robert was a usurper, so it doesn't have the sting that you think it has. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it in F tier. I don't hate it as much as I hate the other ones. And you do sort of know who you're talking about, but it's just such a bad nickname that I'm putting in an F tier. Thing that I shouldn't say on YouTube, King. I'm going to put it in F tier because you're making me say things that I shouldn't be saying on YouTube. All right, Theon Turncloak does describe sort of how people would think of Theon, and it's got a lot of bite in it. Theon Turncloak. I mean, that's got some oomph to it. This is a nickname that has staying power. I think this is A tier. It'll probably become S tier once we have wins, if we have wins. But right now, I think it's definitely high A tier. I think this nickname has legs. The Mountain That Rides, Gregor Clegane. In terms of nicknames, this is one of those ones like the Conqueror, where it's like you can only name one guy the Mountain. And if one guy was going to be the Mountain, it would be Gregor Clegane. So the Mountain is kind of iconic, but it's sort of like low. I think it's like the Dragon Knight or the Knight of Flowers. The Mountain, I think I like it more than the Knight of Flowers. I like it less than the Spider, but the Mountain is a good nickname. Lord Tywin's Mad Dog could refer to anybody. I think it refers to the mountain as well, but I literally don't know. And I don't really see people use this one that much. I think this is going to go in F tier. I don't like it. The Hound. This is Sandor Clegane, and I think this is a pretty good characterization of the Hound, like up until sort of the second book, when he just has his moment and snaps. He's very much like a loyal hound to Joffrey, and he's got dogs on his sigil, so you sort of immediately know who you're talking about. He leans into it as well. He has like the hound helmet, at least in the show. I don't remember whether he does in the books. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But he definitely leans into the hound nickname, and people use it. It's a very iconic nickname. I think it goes right beside the mountain. Okay, Brienne the Beauty. I think if you were gonna insult Brienne the Beauty has much more of a bite than Maid of Tarth, because, you know, it's a ironic nickname, but at the same time, the problem with this nickname is that it's not a nickname. It includes her name in it, Brienne the Beauty. I mean, the Beauty just is too vague, and it could apply to anybody. It could be Marjorie the Beauty or something, or Cersei the Beauty. I mean, you have no idea who the Beauty refers to. Everybody's going to call their wife the Beauty or something, right? Like if they actually, you know, appreciate their wife, they're going to call her the Beauty. So like the Beauty does nothing on its own. You have to have Brienne the Beauty, and it's this alliteration that is really nice, and then like the play on words and the sarcastic tone of it that people would use when saying it, and they would sort of say it with contempt almost. But again, like Barristan the Bold, you know, her name is part of the title, so for that reason, for me at least, this fails. Lumpyhead. This is one of Arya's nicknames, and I don't remember who it refers to, so I'm going to put this in F tier. I don't remember who Lumpyhead is. Horseface. I think this is a derogatory nickname for Arya, and in terms of trite nicknames, I mean, this is a pretty trite nickname, pretty trite insult, but I think this is better than it first appears, because this does a lot of characterization for Arya, because she is sort of not a horse girl in terms of like obsessed with horses, but a horse girl in terms of like the spirit of a horse. She's kind of like wild and free, and so her face is presenting as this wild and free thing, right? She's always like unkempt, not really bound to her gender expectations or the expectations of nobility or of society. So I think that this is a better nickname than it seems. I don't think, I mean, obviously this is more of like a childish, juvenile insult towards her, and so it's not really a great nickname. But in terms of like how it is for the book, I think this is sort of along the lines of like Giant of Lannister, in that it's just such a good character summary for me. Arya Horseface, like, I mean, yeah, it's insulting, but it actually gets like pretty deep into her character pretty fast. So I'm going to put it in A tier just because I like it so much. Bran the Broken. I think this is a terrible nickname. Everybody hates this nickname. We all kind of roll our eyes when we hear this nickname, just because of the Tyrion speech at the end of season 8, where he's like, who has a better story than Bran the Broken? Probably half of you clicked off the video when I said those words, just from like a sheer jerk reaction. Bran the Broken is just an awful nickname at this point. I hate this nickname. I don't like this nickname. All the way at the bottom, I don't like it. Eric the Anvil Breaker refers to a very obscure character from the Iron Islands, and I just think that this is a bad nickname. I don't like this. The King Who Knelt refers to Torrhen Stark, who surrendered to King Aegon Targaryen. And I think this is a great nickname. It immediately gets to what kind of a man this king is, and sort of immediately lets us know who we're talking about. If there was ever a king who knelt, it would be Torrhen Stark. And I think it could be used both positively and negatively. Like, you could say, oh, he's a kneeler. He kneels to other people, but also, like, he does what's important. He realizes that he's going to lose, and he does the wise thing to kneel and sort of become part of the Seven Kingdoms. So, in that sense, I think the King Who Knelt is an S-tier nickname. I like this one. Little Bird is Sandor Clegane, the Hound's nickname for Sansa Stark at King's Landing. I think this is an alright nickname. Although it's kind of vague who this refers to, it does do a lot of character work, kind of like Arya Horseface. So I like Little Bird. I think it's an A-tier nickname. I think it's not as great as Horseface, but I think Little Bird is a good nickname. I might actually move these to high B tier. They're a little vague. All right, Reek. Reek is just, I mean, it's so visceral. It's so vague that you like have no idea who this could refer to. Is this the first Reek? Is this the second Reek? But I think in terms of derogatory nicknames, I think that's kind of the whole point of Reek, is to strip somebody of their identity and make them just the guy who stinks really bad. So I think in terms of that, and in terms of like how visceral this nickname becomes in the story, I think Reek has got to be an S-tier nickname. The Kraken's Daughter, I think, refers to Asha Greyjoy. It's kind of a mid nickname. It's going to be in C tier somewhere for me. Late Lord Frank, yeah, worse than that. I think over here, Kraken's Daughter. The Damp Hair. A lot of people call this the Damp Fair. I think it's supposed to be the Damp Hair, because this refers to Aaron Greyjoy, the guy who is almost like John the Baptist. He goes around, like, basically baptizing people in the tradition of the old ways of the Iron Islands for the drowned god. So his hair would literally be damp all the time, hence the Damp Hair. I think it's all right, but I mean, I just don't really like it. And because I don't like it, I'm going to put it in F tier. I don't like this nickname. Okay, the She-Wolf. I think this refers to Lyanna Stark. If there was ever a She-Wolf character, it would be Lyanna Stark. I think Arya in the future might take on the moniker of the She-Wolf, maybe even surpassing Lyanna Stark's boldness. But for right now, I think there's basically nobody else who you can call the She-Wolf. So I think this is a very strong nickname. I'll put it in S tier. Is it better than Reek? No. But yeah, the She-Wolf, definitely a strong nickname. Lord Snow. Now this could be very vague because, who is Lord Snow? This is obviously Jon Snow's nickname. And it's a mocking nickname at first, and then he literally becomes Lord Snow, right? He becomes the Lord Commander, and so now they have to like kind of be in an awkward position because their fake nickname for him that was meant to be derogatory is now what he actually is. This is sort of a play on Tyrion's advice back in Game of Thrones to sort of wear your insults as armor, and I think this is like the best example of this in the books. Lord Snow is a very strong nickname for me. I think it's right below Bittersteel. It's such an iconic nickname, and yeah, it really gets into Jon Snow's sort of character arc. I think it is a very strong nickname. The young wolf is, of course, referring to Robb Stark, because his father Ned is still alive when he takes on this moniker. So, who could be the young wolf but his son? Again, it could be sort of vague, but nobody else really could be referred to as the young wolf, at least in the timeline of the main series. I don't think anybody would call Bran a wolf or Rickon a wolf. You might call them a pup, but not a wolf. This is definitely Robb Stark. I like this nickname, but it's not as strong as the other ones. I think it's an A tier somewhere, or maybe a B tier. Yeah, B tier, somewhere with the old bear. Underfoot refers to Arya Stark, Arya Underfoot, because she's always under your feet, scurrying about somewhere. I think that this is less good than Horseface. It doesn't feel like a very genuine nickname. It seems very artificial to me, so I'm gonna put Underfoot in C tier. Okay, the Quiet Wolf. There's the She-Wolf, which is Lyanna Stark. There's the Quiet Wolf, which is not Brandon Stark. Brandon is clearly not a Quiet Wolf. And then I think there was the Wolf Pup, which would be the youngest son, which would be Ned Stark. Hence, the Quiet Wolf is more like Benjen Stark. And I just don't think that this characterization really fits with what we know about Benjen Stark. He doesn't seem to be a quiet kind of guy, and generally speaking, Ned seems to be kind of a quiet guy. So like the Quiet Wolf is like really ambiguous. It's just not a great nickname. I'm gonna put it in F tier. It's vague and it doesn't really have staying power. And then the Wolf Pup, this could refer to so many people. I think in the moment of Harrenhal, it refers to Ned Stark, and it's just a bad nickname. This nickname really stinks. It doesn't have any staying power. Bran the Builder, the title of the Builder is good, but again, George keeps making these alliterative titles with B in them. Barristan in the Bold, Brienne the Beauty, Bran the Builder. He seems to be able to do B's really well, but again, the problem with this is that Bran the Builder has Bran in the title, so it's not really a nickname. The nickname is the Builder, and then the Builder could refer to so many people. I mean, if you were to call one person the Builder, it would be Bran. So I guess there's that, but it's not really a great nickname. I don't like it. I'm going to put it in F tier just because it has Bran in the title. This is a nickname for Ramsay Bolton, the Bastard of Winterfell. I think this is a good nickname. I think it's better than Bolton, so I might move Bolton down and put him in its place. The Bastard of Bolton in C tier, maybe somewhere, and then put the Winterfell one up here. Yeah, I think that's the one. The King Who Lost the North. Really vague. Could refer to anyone. It could be Torrhen Stark, because he bent the knee. Could be I don't know, Robb Stark, because he quite literally lost the North. Not a great nickname. F tier for me. And then the White Wolf. I have no idea who the White Wolf refers to. It could be Jon Snow. He has a White Wolf. No clue who the White Wolf is, although I do like the alliteration of the WW, so I mean, based off of that, it's not a bad nickname, but it's just really vague. I don't recall who the White Wolf is. All right, so here we go. This is the tier list as it stands at the end of it. Of course, this is 100% objective, and all of my opinions are right. And this entire list is infallible, completely. You can't argue against any part of it. Definitely objective. Anyways, jokes aside, I have to make more casual videos between my video essays, otherwise my channel dies. Anyways, I just had a big whole rant that I'm going to cut about the level of seriousness with my channel, but basically I just wanted people to also be reminded that I don't take everything seriously. Not everything has to be serious. Not every video has to be groundbreaking. Sometimes we can just hang out and have fun. I generally have no idea what I'm doing with YouTube. I have no media training, and people give you advice on all kinds of things, and it doesn't seem like there's any like one method to make things work other than post semi-regularly. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to post semi-regularly by filling the content gaps with something else. Anyways, this has been John Greenwood. This video might be longer than I anticipated, but hey, it was a long list of character nicknames, and you know, it just deserved so much analysis because, you know, character nicknames are just, I mean, this is just the meat of this whole story. I mean, how will we know what Game of Thrones means if we didn't rank, you know, the Leech Lord in B tier on this random tier list? I mean, come on, guys. Anyways, take care, guys. John Greenwood, signing off.